everyone, it's Movie Lover Warren 20 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review for another horror trilogy. And this one is for yet another Rob Zombie series. Because I've already reviewed his Halloween movies. But now it's going to be on to an actually good series he's done. And this series is going to be for the Firefly Family Trilogy. And that's, of course, starting with none other than his very first directional debut, House of 1000 Corpses. Now, when this movie had quite a bit of production history, I gotta say. It was actually completed in around 2000 and was going to be released by Universal Studios, Universal Pictures. However, there was a problem. They didn't like the film's content and were too scared about it being rated NC-17. And so, despite already being filmed, it was immediately shelved by them. However, Rob Zombie did not give up. Rob Zombie then took the rights from Universal and gave them to Lionsgate, who agreed to release the movie. But he still had to edit out about 12 minutes of the film. And so it was originally going to be 100. It's actually going to be 105 minutes long, so that's actually 17 minutes he had to edit out of the film. So it ended up being a miserable 88 minutes. So yeah. And I think we are never going to get a director's cut of the film. So, unfortunately, those wanting to watch the movie and look for the unedited version, you're going to get none of that. So basically, this DVD doesn't even have any deleted scenes either. So, this 89-minute cut is the only version you're going to find. So yeah, that's all there is. Well, with that being said, let's get on with the review. But what's the movie about? Well, two young couples take a misguided tour onto the backroads of America in search of a local legend known as Dr. Satan. After this corrupt host, like clown, actually guides them, actually tells them of the legend of Dr. Satan and it convinces them to want to go look for the legend. So, eventually they do get lost and stranded, and they are set upon by a bizarre family of psychotics known as the Firefly family, consisting of Mama Firefly, Baby Firefly, Otis Driftwood, Rufus Firefly, Grandpa Hugo, and of course, the tall, gentle, mute one, but still just as bad as the others, Tiny. Murder, cannibalism, and Satan rituals are just a few of the 1,000 horrors that await them. Now, here's what the movie has. I think it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Really, there's definitely a few funny scenes, specifically like this one scene right here, at the beginning of the movie.
I'll tell you what, Ski King, why don't you just take your mama home some chicken, and then I won't have to stuff my boot all up in your ass. I don't like chicken, and I hate clowns.
I'm sorry, just the way the robber says, I don't like chicken, and I hate clowns. It's just so hilarious. Like, robber's acting as comedy gold. Sorry, just the way the robber acts in the first scene when he's trying to idiotly rob Captain Spaulding is probably the hilarious. Because he sounds like, trying to sound tough, but he just sounds like some wrestler, really, than a robber. But what do I think of the movie? Well, it's just, it's fine movie, but it's just okay, really. Because to me, in my opinion, House of Corpses feels kind of like a fan movie. I mean, fans of both the horror genre and Rob Zombie are likely to love it, though. As much as I kind of enjoy it, in a way, I'm not too big of a fan of it. I do like kind of both times. I'm not really familiar with both. Really, those familiar with Rob Zombie are likely the only ones who completely get this clever little film that appreciates depraved sense of humor and nihilism. Zombie themes are fairly consistent, like evil, murder, sex, insanity, and stereotype hillbillies. Zombie's world is not a place where people are terribly concerned with reality, but for Zombie himself, it seems to supply endless music for a prolific and interesting commercial creativity. I don't know, I mean, I still don't mind it. I think it's a fine movie. It's just, I just kind of think its sequel, The Devil's Rejects, is a much more superior movie to me. Yeah. Like, the first 20 minutes or so of the film, and feel much like RZ's songs are so campy, it kind of seems like a straightforward horror comedy at times, however. Once our four protagonists, our pretty unlikable protagonists, I kid you not, are in the house, the plot takes a decidedly more sinister spin and never lets up from that point forward. And it does successfully and entertainingly portrays all of RZ's themes in about the same proportions as his music. Of them all, sex is the least explored, and I for one am thankful for that, and it also walks a delicate line between Hannibal Lecter grotesque art realism and supernatural forces. Like, at one point, one of the bad guys turns on a cassette player with Will Barry's and the voice recorded and it sounds extra satanic. It's even got a unique freaky style to it. There's weird video filters, split screens, and some really fun characters. I mean, specifically when Otis and Baby are there making Fishboy, aka killing their first victim of the four. The opening immediately sets the tone, establishes a weird and funny style. It's a horror movie with a big wink to the audience, but however, while the movie does start off strong, it quickly gets stuck in the predictable plot of a bunch of freaks kidnapping and murdering a bunch of teens. It kind of feels too much like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at times. Except, however, unfortunately, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre where actually nobody wins. Yeah, spoiler alert, guys. I'm gonna spoil this. If you're looking for a movie where at least one of the protagonists lives, I'll just say this. Spoilers. That does not happen at the end of the movie. Pretty much all four of the victims die. Yep, they all get killed. Nobody wins. Nobody's lucky. Pretty much anyone who's a victim is immediately dead. None of the victims are really interesting, and none of them even seem remotely competent or even attempting to fight back, and therein lies the real problem with the movie. It kind of feels like the director is more in love with the freaks than the victims, really, but whatever. Good horror movies are usually supposed to make you root for the good guys. It makes you like them. You hope that they survive. This creates suspense. And there's also trashy horror movies where you just want everyone to die violently. Was this even trying to be in the latter category? Well, it doesn't even work. Plus, the director even overindulges. Well, like, sometimes we'll just cut to a random music video clip, and then Rob will just cut to a random music video clip, and it just kind of feels out of place at times. When there's a specific scene going on, it immediately just randomly cuts to there for some unexplained reason, and it just really kind of gets annoying at times. The plot never really even goes anywhere. He's basically, when I saw this movie, I actually did want everyone to die, and I also didn't really like the ending. It was very predictable, and it just felt disappointing, and yeah, but I'll give the movie credit for its excellent soundtrack, sets, costumes, and effects. The movie doesn't involve too much in gross violence, especially compared to its next movie that comes after it, which I'm going to get to in the next review, guys. In fact, I'm surprised a lot of the violence is merely hinted at or shown very briefly, so kudos for that. But in the end, it's just not a very compelling film, it's just mediocre, and here's how I would definitely rank this movie. I am going to give House of 1000 Corpses a 6 out of 10. Well, officially took care of House of 1000 Corpses. Now I could get on to my favorite of the trilogy. For me, what is the actually good one of the trilogy. Yes, guys, The Devil's Rejects is next. Since now that I've covered this one, it's time to get on with the second one. We know how reviewing a horror trilogy works. But all in all, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.